What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, you've been hitting me up in my email and asking me to talk about the situation with what happened to Mica Miller, who is the soon-to-be ex-wife of John Paul Miller, the pastor out there out in Myrtle Beach or whatever. I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't really bother this story at first when it first came out because I was trying to wait for more and more details to come out. And we all know what they ruled her death as. You know, we're not gonna say it on here because YouTube be tripping. But anyway, in this video, I'm gonna talk a little bit about, I'm only gonna speak from a male standpoint. And I'm gonna speak more on the pastor and, the situation that entailed, that led up to this woman doing what she did, which is messed up. And this dude right here is a classic narcissist. Every definition of the word. From what I've seen and what I've been keeping up with, in between me doing these videos and other things in life, I don't know this man personally. This man, in my opinion, is not a true man of God. He's a charlatan. He's a narcissist. I think he's a coward. And he does what he thinks he can get away with. This guy right here is one of the guys where he has to be the smartest person in the room, and he thinks he is. Therefore, he can't be trusted. This guy right here, ladies and gentlemen, put this woman through hell. He pushed her to the brink of her own self-destruction. I want you to think about that. See, a lot of times when you think about abuse and stuff like that, we think about the physical part. But this is a prime example that the mental abuse someone can go through is sometimes, a lot of times, way worse than what anybody can do in putting scars on you or breaking bones and such as that. Because that stuff can be healed. A lot of the stuff and the mental anguish that people put other people through because they know them and they try to cut off avenues of them using conscious thought to get themselves back together, all under the guise of I love you and this and that, and throwing guilt trips and all this stuff on people, guilt shaming. These type of tactics is enough to drive one mad. And I think this is the case in what happened to Mica Miller. And it's sad. That's a beautiful woman. You know what I'm saying? Seemed like she was trying to do some good. Now they said she had a disability and all, and this is the part that makes it all the worse. I want you to hear me on this. If this woman did suffer from some type of mental illness, and her husband knew it, instead of him being supportive, like he is of his flock, and he wants his flock to be supportive of him, putting on this persona of being a good guy, speaking the word of Christ and all of this, being Christ-like and God-like. He was nothing but the devil in disguise with his own wife, his helpmeet. I want you guys to pay attention. Today's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. I didn't mean to, but think about this. They didn't have no children. This guy met her when she was at a young age. He was her youth pastor. You don't think some type of grooming came into that? Now, he married her when she was older, but he knew her when she was a kid. He got a little semblance of how her mind worked, how she saw God, according to the instructions he was giving her, as well as everybody else. This guy, when somebody's older than you, when they're down the road a little bit further than you are, and you're trying to catch up with them, they have a hell of an advantage. Because they see things that you ain't seen yet, and they can use them, and they can alter the route and the path to have you mentally to where you want to be defended and following on them. I want you guys to really pay attention. This guy done did some messed up stuff that is ungodly. First thing he did, in my opinion, in some of the news that has come out, is he was going to show, he posted a topless video of this woman that still carries his name, not even divorced yet, in some type of revenge tactic making her mad, to upset her. He's putting tracking devices on her car. Now they filed for divorce late last year, right? And from some of the stories I looked at, they called it off or refiled it. It's a lot going on with this, but you guys understand where I'm coming from. It's a lot of confusion in this whole situation. And the confusion boiled over to where this guy, because you got to remember, he's the leader of the church. And I want you ladies to really think about this, of people that think about this whole thing as being stupid. Think about this. If somebody is intently making it to where they're putting tracking devices on your car, they're doing little slick things, little stuff that antagonize you. This woman called the police multiple times on multiple different occasions to get help. This guy's coming from a position of control, following her places, showing up, doing crazy stuff. What do? It's enough to drive you mad. And I think this was what happened in this case. This woman went to a park in Orem, North Carolina, and just gave up the ghost. She got on the phone with 911. Now, I'm gonna tell you another thing that's strange. The way she took her life, that's not a normal way women commit suicide. If you go and look up some of the studies, it's not a normal way. That right there, if it's the truth, for her to do that, she think all hope was lost and she couldn't get the help she needed. And this guy pushed her to the brink. A man of God, up here counseling people in church, a lot of older people in his flock, listen to him for advice on life, love, and the Lord. And he can't even handle a situation with a girl much younger than him, his wife, who he's been married to for a long time and know a lot about. That show you right there, he had a lot of manipulative games that he did. He had a lot of power, a lot of control where she couldn't, you know what I'm saying? Because he was controlling a lot of stuff. This guy right here went in the church and shit on his wife. Think about that. He announced it to the whole flock. And I'm gonna tell you, that's a strategy for defense, because they know he was trying to cover his own behind. He'd go in there and say stuff in church and talk and this and that and say all of this stuff. And, oh, my wife did that. How you gonna go in front of a bunch of people, parishioners, and say, hey, my wife had a history of mental illness. Y'all know that. Like, what are you talking to them about your business for? You don't think some of the men in that congregation getting side-eye you, even though they didn't show you, they didn't side-eye you? You ain't think them people left and was like, what the hell was the pastor talking about? I wouldn't have did that. You don't see it like that. Always the smartest person in the room. You want to put a topless video, a shirt, a photo on Facebook of your wife? You ain't even married, you're not even divorced yet? You know how humiliating that is to do that? He was trying to destroy her character from the inside out because he knows who she is. He knows her heart. He knows what makes her embarrassed. He drove her to the point. And that is one of the cruelest things I've ever seen. Like I told you, when you love somebody, you protect them. If they don't want to be with you no more, you got the church, you got everything else, you got the love of Jesus and all of this other stuff. And then, what does it matter? If you're doing what you're supposed to do, God going to give you a better replacement. Did you hear him in the thing in one of the videos that are out here? Yeah, God to bring me a hot wife that loves the Lord. What? Why would you say that in church? And you looking at her, she's a hot wife that supposedly loved the Lord. So she wasn't enough. See, a lot of times people play with your mind and you start to buck back. You start to buck out of that and then see what they're doing. They try to play, narcissists do. They try to act like something's wrong with you or you the one that's crazy. I think he was doing that all the time when she had enough. That's why she got on that thing and she was talking. And she was like, being in an abusive relationship, you don't have to be a slave. You don't have to be this and that. That's what she was talking about. But she was speaking a certain way. See, she didn't come out directly and shit on him to a bunch of strangers like he shit on her. You went and Kick this lady's back in front of your congregation, the same congregation she sung songs and backed you as the first lady of that church. How sick is that? How sick is that? A lot of times when you build yourself up and you with a guy and something's built up and y'all doing it together, a lot of times as that thing grows, so does the ego of the man or the woman that you're with. They feel as though they don't need you no more. Or they're bigger than you when you was there from the jump. This is that classic type of behavior. You get so big that you don't need nobody no more. And all the contributions this person did, the meals they fixed to you, the times they rubbed your back when you was hurt, the times they went and got cold rags for you when you had headaches from preaching too much or reading the Bible or studying to do a sermon or helping you, none of that matters. None of that matters. Hell has no place for people like this, but it do have a special place for John Paul Miller, the pastor, sitting up there at church called Rock Solid. You doing fragile stuff. They got videos of you falling outside the car, acting like you crying on the ground, looking stupid. What kind of woman would back a man and follow a man that does that? That's not a leader. That's a fool. You're one of the worst actors I've ever seen. Listen, I try to deal with common sense and just the reality of what I see and trying to figure out things. This guy come off fake as hell. I wouldn't even go to that church. Did you hear what he said? Oh, I'm going to say what I got to say when he was talking about his wife. Go look at the videos, y'all. He say, I'm going to say what I got to say. This stays within these walls. How does it stay within these walls if it's recorded and it's out here in the internet? Somebody's recording it. This stays between these walls. And what I say, it doesn't leave the house of the Lord. What? How come all of us got it? We ain't in your church. See, he was doing that as a defense strategy, speaking nicely. Oh, people are saying I'm a bad person, but I'm building a school in Africa. She was about to go to Africa full time and go over there. She took some of her things over there. He wasn't going to allow that. Oh, she built herself up off of me. You don't leave that easy. Did you see in the divorce decree? Oh, don't say nothing bad about the church or say nothing bad about me when you leave. Who does that? Who does? Who writes that? Don't talk trash about the church and don't talk trash. But because she knows a lot of the secrets and she knows a lot of the fakeness that you have. That's the reason he wanted, because she knew a lot of his dirty secrets. This guy going and leaving tips and his phone number on receipts for waitresses to call him. What kind of man does that? You still married. See, the thing about this whole thing, church is a place where people go and, let go of a hard week and praise God and get ready for the next week and just some type of spiritual motivation to keep moving forward. And they come to you to listen to your sermons to give them that motivation they need. And you come in there telling your business, shitting on your own damn wife in the church that she helped, help build up, doing her part as your helpmate and helping in the church. And it's a lot of sacrifice. And it's all for nothing. I guarantee you when he got the news, he couldn't wait to run the church and act like, oh, it's me. Oh, it's me. Oh, but we'll persevere. This church was built up. Lord loves us. Speaking poison with two tongues. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I just looked at this whole thing in a nutshell. This dude is trash. He is. You couldn't come to a peaceful resolution with a woman. You have no children by. It's just you and her. And y'all couldn't come to a happy medium if y'all was going to separate. You had to resort to some dirty tactics to mess with her mind and push her to the brink of where we are now. I hope you're proud of yourself. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.